Hello, 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 beautiful people of the world. Welcome to the Happy Conversation Idea Show, where you can witness thoughts, ideas, and life story of the happiest people. And today we got a very special guest here today. Her name is Nadika Viswakula. She's an international love coach and a healer, energy healer. She helps people master the art of self love by connecting to their higher self, their divine self, and diffusing the energetic charge of old programming, limiting beliefs, and trapped emotions. Nadika has studied in areas of an alternative types of healings. She does inner child healing, past life trauma healing, ancestral clearing, and energetic body work. Nadika has mastered the art of getting out of her head and into her heart, experiencing a very mindful, connected, and heart centered journey. Nadika says happiness, joy, and bliss are your birthrights. We welcome Nadika to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Happy.
Thank you so much for being our wonderful guest today. And your brand name is called Naked Love Coach. So my first question too is, please tell us about your life story of failure and passion that led to success and why you chose your brand name Naked Love.
All right. Well, on my journey, I realized that I had experienced a lot of what I perceived are childhood traumas and adversities, being bullied and all sorts of things. I went to school, I grew up in a working class family, and I went to school in a very affluent area. So I wasn't the kid, I was the I was the person that didn't fit in. I was the awkward one, everyone was wearing designer clothing, they had nannies and everything else. And I was a part of a working class family that didn't have the means to have those things. So I was the kid in the hand-me-downs, and not the cool one for sure. And I got bullied a lot, and it created a lot of childhood trauma. Again, this is not so much, we want to observe like our trauma, but not judge it. So as I'm an adult now, in my adult body with my adult mind, I'm able to kind of look back and go, okay, well, those are just stories from then, and use them to propel me forward. So which forwards me to today, like my brand, Naked Love Coach. Naked, I realized on my journey, as I had experienced life throughout the years, I realized that I had put on a lot of masks, a lot of coping mechanisms, a lot of personas, so I could be a version of myself in different circumstances. But I realized over time that I was trying to fill voids, perceived voids. And even when it came to making money, I was making money from a place of fear, because I didn't want to be that poor child that was being bullied in my school.
Okay.
And so I realized I was very good at becoming financially successful,
That's good.
but there was a price I was paying. When I honestly and authentically looked within, and if I asked myself the question, am I genuinely happy? And to the outside world, I looked very happy. I had a lot of things, and I was smiling, and I had amazing experiences. None of them I would want to give back. They're all a part of my journey. But if I really connected to my deep, authentic self, was I genuinely happy? And is there a possibility for me to be any happier than I am today? And the answer was, I wasn't genuinely happy, and there was room to grow and expand into a happiness that was grander than where I was before.
Okay.
So that is where I got to my brand. As I was exploring my own inner healing and my childhood traumas,
Yeah.
I realized that I was peeling back all of these masks and perceptions and personas of who I thought I was, and revealing not just to the world, but to myself as well, who my authentic self is, aligning with my divinity, aligning with my purpose, aligning with, universe, God's consciousness, whatever word you want to use, but aligning with my divinity, my higher self, and my purpose that God, universe, Mother Nature has put me here to serve.
Wow. That's incredible. What a great, wonderful, inspiring, and empowering story. You have in your childhood, you got like bullied and all. So my next question is, what happens to young adults love life who are raised by stressed parents?
So I want everyone to understand that. So I want to go, because a lot of my answers are going to, I want to build a small foundation here. So I believe I've done my research and I've really connected to us all being souls,
Yeah.
consciousness, energy, whatever language you want to use around it, borrowing this body in this human journey. So this body is our vehicle on this fun journey that we're on. So we are a combination of our soul and our physical being.
Okay.
But our true authentic self is our soul. Our highest knowing and our highest version of ourself is connecting to our soul and our soul purpose.
Okay.
Divine conscious energy. And
Okay.
so how I show up, my soul chooses my family.
Okay.
And it's interesting because children will choose their parents on a very energetic level, and parents will choose their children on a very energetic level. So our energies are coming together to create a family. So it's divinely orchestrated. It's never a mistake. However, if families are manifesting stress, and stress, I don't actually believe that stress is a real thing, in that it is a perception.
Okay.
So when I really break it down, stress is manufactured.
Sure.
We create stress because we can take one instance and it could be neutral and not, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, that's so wonderful what you're saying. Yes, I'm listening.
We can take an example and not have it have a charge. The thing that makes it stressful is that I'm perceiving it in a way that's creating an anxiety within me or a fear within me. And if I am able to break down what's beneath this fear, what is this fear telling me?
Yes.
It's telling me something. I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. These are all core beliefs that most all of us have. Okay. And if we are able to identify what the core belief beneath the stressor is, we can actually take it back into our childhood, and we can definitely work with the childhood, but we can sometimes even work with past lives, because some things come in our subconscious and we are not aware of it in our conscious mind. And that's what's creating the stressor.
Okay.
And so again, by connecting to your divinity, you're able to identify, there are tools for this, to identify what is the underlying cause for the stress.
True.
And then you can just diffuse it.
Great.
Snap, like it's as quick as that.
Great. I hope that young adults' life won't suffer now by listening to your best answer here. So next question is, well, the greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong yourself, right? So what is the main reason? What is the main reason for adults to suffer from a lack of self-love and love of others? Why do we suffer like lack of love, self-love?
In my practice, I've learned that the biggest disconnection comes from not fully understanding that you are far beyond this body and the confines of this body, that you are a divine being, and that you are multi-dimensional, and that you are always tuned in and tapped in to God, source energy, Mother Nature, whatever the word is that you want to use to connect to your higher self. You are always connected. Even when you're not feeling connected, you're still connected.
Wow.
It's just that we've got something in front blocking that connection, but it's still there. I always give the example, think of a window. The window, the light is always on, but sometimes the curtains are fully closed And
True.
sometimes they can be opened a little bit more and more. So
Yeah.
as we connect more to our higher self, those curtains come open,
Oh,
and then you realize there's no reason for the curtains to be there at all, because
true.
the light is so much more divine and beautiful.
Wow,
And we don't need
wonderful.
the protection of these curtains.
And that's how we can open and we can realize that how self-love is so important and get the love of others as well. Great.
So
Next,
this, yeah.
how to understand and heal from the past trauma of the ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or the spouse, because everybody carries the past trauma. So how to understand and heal that?
So I always say that I am always only ever in relationship with myself, which means that if somebody else is showing me an opportunity, if somebody else is triggering an emotion within me, it's an opportunity for me to look within and realize and understand and observe, not judge, but just observe why I'm allowing somebody else to disturb my
Yeah,
peace.
peace. So
Because
true.
my peace and my happiness is my responsibility. Not only is it my responsibility, it's my birthright, and I'm the only person in charge of it. Nobody else is in charge of it. So if they're not in charge of it, then they should definitely not be in control of it. So if somebody else is causing me to lose my peace, it's never that other person. That's just an
Yeah.
illusion. It is always me voluntarily giving up my peace.
Peace.
So this person is bringing something up for me to look at within myself. So exes become exes because they leave. One person leaves and they stop committing to each other. But if you commit and keep looking inwards in the relationship, when something's coming up, you go inwards and go, this is coming up for me. Where in my childhood? Every single time I work with couples, each person has a trauma from their childhood that's playing out, and they usually mirror each other. So if someone has a belief, the other person has that same belief. It just may be acted out slightly differently.
Yeah. Wow. Well said. Yeah. Something happened in the past, and especially in the childhood trauma, people suffer for loss. Yeah. That's great. Now, what is the negative bonding pattern in a relationship? How to identify that?
So I always say this ties in great with your previous question. Codependency will be the most challenging thing to work with in a relationship. Codependency, in the short sense in a short explanation, is my happiness depends on you. That does not work. My happiness only depends on me. You are not in charge of my happiness. So instead of, like, if you wake up and you say to yourself, I'm going to do whatever I can to keep my level of inner joy and happiness high so that I have more to offer you. Because the other person cannot fill your empty cup. You got to fill up your empty cup with self-love first, and give everybody else your excess. Give everybody everything that flows outside of your cup, and your cup flows abundantly. There's no limit. There's no lid. It just flows in abundance because you're fully connected to the abundance that the universe has.
Wow. Incredible. Wow. Well said. That's solely connected. Wow. Excellent. Now, we go through with all these traumas and past difficulties and frustrations and all anger and anxiety stuff and all. How to remove old emotional scars?
So a lot of times I find it interesting that people don't actually know how to even identify what an emotion is. So I usually take people on a process, on a journey. So let's say, like, I'll give you an example of a client that I work with, and this is a beautiful example. She's a beautiful teacher for all of us. She came to me, I believe she was in her late 40s, early 50s, and she had 7 PhDs under her belt.
Wow.
And
how old is she?
A lot. I've not known anyone
7 PhD.
This much like educational background, right?
Wow.
But she came to because she wasn't feeling happy and she wasn't in a relationship. She was wanting to manifest a relationship and she wasn't feeling happy and aligned in her life. So I asked her, well, the first question I asked her is, do you believe, because I've never met anybody with these kinds of credentials. And I said, do you believe that you're smart?
Yeah.
And right away, she became emotional and she had like a breakdown. So breakdowns can be quite beautiful because that's raw, authentic emotion. And so I always say you have to feel it to heal it. We can't just heal from these hypothetical scenarios. You got to be in the emotions, those raw emotions. So as we worked with her and got to this core belief that because the fact that I asked her if she believes she's smart and she doesn't, she said no, tells me that she believes the opposite of herself, which is I am stupid, which is a common programming that many of us have. So I wanted to go back in her childhood to see where she first started to believe that about herself.
Wow.
Because when we're born, we don't necessarily have those beliefs in our conscious mind.
True.
They may be in our ancestral lineage, but it's not in our conscious mind. And so when we did some exercises with her, she was able to identify that when she was little, about 3 years old, she wanted to pour her own milk. She took a big 4-liter jug of milk, poured it into a glass, and because her dexterity wasn't strong and her coordination, she's young, not fully developed, she had spilt milk all over the kitchen counter. Her mom was stressed and said, "Oh, what are you, stupid? Look at the mess you made." Now, at that moment, the mother didn't, probably if you were to ask the mother today, she probably wouldn't even remember that happened. But to that 3-year-old, 4-year-old little girl, that was a defining moment for her.
Emotional scar was just imprinted on her heart and mind. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she had taken that on. She wrote a tattoo on her forehead, "I am stupid." These are all, it's not a real tattoo, obviously, but an emotional trauma. And so when she went out into the world, she was trying to prove not just to herself, but to the world that she's not stupid. But guess what? I'm going to use the, I won't swear, but I always say you can put icing on poop, but it's still poop underneath, right? So if you believe you're not, if you believe that you're stupid, but you just pretend by masking it with a bunch of educational credentials, it doesn't mean that core belief has been healed. So we got to go back in there and we got to heal the belief, because it's just absolutely not true about her.
True.
She is, just like you are and I am, connected to divine intelligence. We are not smart. We are intelligent beings, beyond smarts, beyond what just our brain can conceive.
Wow. That's a great analogy. And you just said that feel it to heal it.
Feel it to heal it.
Feel it. I love that. It's so profound. Feel it to heal it. If we don't feel it, how we can heal it? And also, if we don't listen properly, then how we can respond to the best solutions too. So my next question is related to that. How we can learn healthy ways to communicate and to be heard?
Well, I always find, I studied nonviolent communication, which I find to be very easy to receive. So you're speaking in a lot of I terms, which is, if you're feeling like, first of all, it has to come from a foundation of knowing that my experience that I'm having is mine alone, meaning you are not, though something you're doing or saying might be triggering me, it's still my trigger to work with.
Okay.
So from that foundation, I can say something along the lines of, I am feeling this emotion coming up right now. And it happens every time I see you doing ... So not you are doing ... It's saying I am seeing you doing ... or I'm experiencing you doing this. It's not you're doing it. It's just the way that I'm seeing it through my lens.
Yeah.
From my perception. So it sort of diffuses it a lot, because you're not pointing fingers. When
True.
you do this, it makes me this. It's just diffuses it, saying, hey, listen, this is coming up for me every time this happens. Every time I see you do this, or I feel that you're doing this, it's a it's not pointing the finger at anyone. It's taking responsibility that the emotion's mine, and
Yes.
also saying, hey, this is just how I'm experiencing it. Doesn't mean it's happening that way.
Yes. So that's a great
Because
way of communicating. Yeah. And to be heard
great way of communicating.
and get
And
along.
also, like, if one person is coming from a trauma place and the other person's also comes from trauma in the past as well, when you're coming in a conscious relationship, which means each person is willing to take responsibility for their own triggers, you
Triggers.
can
Yeah.
have really great dialogues, because when someone's feeling triggered or having a challenge, the other person can step up and be there to support them instead of making it about them.
Wow.
Because the
Wonderful.
worst thing is when you keep passing the tennis
Passing
ball across of blame, going,
blame
this is
game
your
is
fault,
your
this is
fault.
your
Yeah.
fault. It doesn't work that way. It's like, okay, let's look at what's happening for you in this moment. There's something you're hurting right now, and I want to be here. I want to reach my arms out and be here because I love you.
Yes.
And you're hurting, so I want to serve you by
Okay.
being here, by listening.
So nice. So that's a great way of communicating, so that you are heard and you're also not hurting someone, and then you're also healed. So next question is, how to create a time for healing ourselves and become happier? If we have communicated well way, and then we still have some grudges, like, okay, we got to the position and all, but then I need to heal myself. So how to create a time for healing ourselves and become happier?
So I always, like, my favorite thing that I live by is, I
I
am the love of my life.
Wow,
I am
I am
the
a
love
love
of
of
my
my
life.
life.
So I am the center of my universe, which means that, like, when I connect to my divinity, I am love. I have so much more to offer the world. When you can give love to yourself first,
True.
then you become a better mother, a better life partner, a better sibling, a better person in your work environment. So filling up your own cup is absolutely important. We have one thing in common on this human journey. We all have 24 hours in a day.
So
And so
true.
with that 24 hours, we get to choose what we do with it. So it is important that you are the love of your life and the center of your world, and that you put yourself first, whatever it is that you need to fill up your cup, whether that's a 15-minute shower in the morning, whether that's a coffee and just doing a meditation, whether it's spending extra time getting dolled up, doing your hair and makeup. I mean, for gentlemen, you guys have your thing too, right? Like, whatever it is, if it is reading the newspaper, not recommended, but if
Yes.
that's your thing, then go for
Never.
it.
There is always
Yeah,
negative. The front page is filled up with all the war and stabbing and
yeah,
gangsters and
not
rape and
recommended.
stealing. Like the entire news in the front page will be make you sad that you will never become in real life in your ear.
Exactly. So we're talking about things that elevate your level of joy. Do more
True.
of that, whatever that is. If you need to dance a little jig in the morning to get
Yeah,
your energy up, and whatever it is, yoga, anything that
that's a
is
powerful
serving you from love is
love.
going to elevate your frequency, because remember, we're energy, we're
True.
vibrating. So we want to elevate that frequency. We're more productive, we open ourselves up to more abundance, joy. So
So
those are
great.
all
Yeah.
important.
And before starting my show, I just listened to one of my best music, uplifting music. I said, "Oh, come on, Happy, let's do it. This is going to be the wonderful show of the year. Come on, let's get it." So my energy goes up, my self-esteem is up, and then I'm so excited. I'm excited always throughout the day and time, but most of the time when there's a very crucial and important moment, then I say, okay, how to create my energy to go lift up myself and to give the best version of myself. Now, when we do this self-healing, it may sound that someone is taking his or her own time. So how do you set boundaries in a relationship in a healthy way or without feeling guilty?
Well, okay. So I'm going to just focus on giving without
Yes.
guilt, because I think that's a very, very, very important thing to touch on. So
Okay.
anytime I give something, I'm either giving it from, anytime I'm doing anything, actually, I'm doing it from love or fear. You know what love feels like because it's just pure bliss. There's
Yeah.
no attachment. It's just pure bliss.
True.
Anything that's not that is fear. So
Okay.
anxiety, uncertainty, resistance, those are all under fear because it's not bliss. That's how you know. Bliss, everyone knows what that feels like. It's just free
So true.
flowing, it's abundant, it's pure, it's easy. And everything else goes under fear. So giving and receiving happen simultaneously, which means
Continuously.
it happens
True.
at the exact same time. So when I am giving, I am receiving at the exact time, because how I give is, if it's from love, I'm receiving that love for myself in that moment that I'm giving something.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and let me yeah, well, that's a great the example you're trying to give. But at some time when you set boundaries in relationships, some other partner will think that, okay, he or she is trying to set a boundary or timeline or distance and all. You may feel like little hurt or guilt, like, okay, I'm offending him or her. Like, if I need to set a boundaries, my day and time that I need a space. Sometimes we feel guilty that, oh, maybe I'm doing something not good towards my partner. So that boundaries in a relationship can create more harmony, or it can be more distraction and space for a lengthy time. So how would you recommend to set a boundary, but at the same time you don't feel guilty? So that was the main concern about that.
I think at the end of the day, you want to communicate within a relationship.
I like
So
that. Communicate. Yeah.
it's not about ultimatums or act like having a definitive anything. It's like, if you do this, I'm out, or you can't do this. It's
Yeah.
like, this is what's coming up for me when I see you doing this thing.
Yeah.
Right? And this is what's coming up for me. So then you want to go in and look at what's coming up for you. You want to honor what's coming up for you, because it's obviously a fear and it's coming from a trauma in your past.
True.
So if your partner, you can work towards not being at that place where you're triggered by the trauma anymore, but you got to work in unison with your partner on that, because you can't just go, the other one person can't just keep going out and continuously doing that trigger while the trigger is not healed. So you got to work together towards healing it, because eventually the goal is for that to no longer have a charge.
True.
Like, you don't in the most ideal relationships, you don't need boundaries, because when you're
like
healed and you're doing your own healing,
wow,
there's nothing that could trigger you.
yes,
but boundaries come as a reason
Zen.
on our journey of healing. It's a stepping stone. We're working towards something together in unison. It's like, this is hurting me, this is scaring me, this is creating anxiety within me. Well, let's work on that, because I love you and I don't want you to feel those emotions anymore.
So what if somebody takes a little long time to give a gap and they don't listen? They say, okay, I need a distance, I need a boundaries, but then the person doesn't want to talk. That's become more harder then. Sometimes it's the person is not ready to communicate. So those are the most difficult thing happens sometimes. Both genders, sometimes they become very hard. I don't want to talk about it at all. So what is that? How we conquer that things?
So if you feel like you're in a union, because relationships are unions, they're with two people working together towards a common goal. So lovely. Relationships are not one half and one half. They're one whole and one whole person. One whole and complete person, one whole perfect and complete person, and together you create a union. Okay, now that's where you can look at and word it as a boundary. The moment you feel like there's only one person in a relationship because the other person has checked out, the other person's too traumatized and they want to be by themselves, you are no longer in a union. That person has checked out. So the self-love thing to do is to go, you know what? I don't feel that you're in this relationship, and I would like to be in a union with someone who's willing to put in what I'm
Yes.
willing to put in.
Put in.
And
Wow.
that's when you can lovingly step away, and the door never has to close. It's just, hey, listen, it's not working right now. You're not stepping up to the plate.
Yeah.
And so the self-love decision is to walk away from that situation and be in a union
Yeah.
where both people are willing to turn towards
Turn
each
to it.
other. If
Wow.
one person's turning away, you're not in a relationship anymore. Now you're just chasing somebody.
So true. So true. That's a wonderful and very, very inspiring answer. A lot of people go through with that and all. Okay. So next, how to build an umbrella of a happy and bonding family.
Realizing that every single person is having their own experience. All relationships are individuals living out their own experiences.
Okay.
And you chose each other on a soul level to come together for your highest healing.
Okay.
Which means that you chose to be there, which means that it's divinely orchestrated. And if someone's triggering you, because our family, they say like our family's going to be the people that are the closest to us, they see the most raw, authentic version of us, and they're here for highest evolution.
So true.
So those are, we signed, I call a contract. You know,
Nice.
It's not a physical contract, but it's a soul contract. We just signed up to be a family. And there's dynamics that happen within families. But if you iron it out and realize that each person is an individual within that family, and each person's here to serve the other,
okay,
you start to have a healthier dynamic within the relationship. And I do want to touch on this as well. I want to really I want to invite parents to observe that children are not their possession.
Okay.
Children do not belong. They're not possessed by their parents. They are coming through their parents into this world, into the universe. They are not a possession to hold on to control. They're coming through this vessel, and your responsibility is to love and nurture them as individuals, and to learn that they are also your mirror. They're here for your highest evolution. So let them be them their own self. The less we tamper with that development, the better off we are, without us putting our traumas and our programming and our old stuff onto them. Allow them to explore and be the best version of themselves and the most authentic version of themselves. Yeah.
Well, that's a great answer. And in my coaching also, I usually tell a lot of young adults and parents, like, you should set a one family thinking brainstorming session for 30 minutes. Every week, you set a 30 minutes family brainstorming sessions for the growth. In that, nobody will judge anybody. So that allows each other, especially young adults, to come up with their ideas. Doesn't matter how abstract idea is that, or vague, or even silly or funny. So you're not judging anyone. So that brainstorming session for the family growth brainstorming session will bring revolutionary ideas and happiness that people can't even imagine. But it takes courage. Say, 1 week or 2 weeks you do, then you're gone. So this should make a custom that, okay, this is the Friday, this is Sunday, before getting to dinner, 30 minutes left of family brainstorming idea session. How can we improve ourselves today? How can we be better to each other? How can we do the best thing as the most happiest family can do to see the world, to feed the world and eat and travel around? So this idea session can bring so many creative thinking that we can't even imagine about it. That's great.
Absolutely.
Great.
Love
Next.
that idea.
So thank you. I hope all the parents will try to do this family brainstorming idea session. Okay, next. How to turn a stressful relationship into a romantic and creative thinking? In a romantic and creative relationship.
So again, that word stress is disalignment from yourself, right? So if each person works on their own inner joy, and their own balance, like their connection to their divinity, then each person shows up as being the highest version of themselves within the union. So that diffuses any stress. And
Wow.
then also like the commitment. I mean, the word commitment is so important in a relationship because because our human trait is needing to feel safe. They say like the only fear like babies have, infants have, is like they want to feel like they're safe, right? And so on an energetic level too. Safety is something that's really important. So if you're committed to something fully, then you can fully be the fullest expression of yourself and know that that person's going to be there for you. When
Wow.
people are in wishy-washy relationships, they're not fully committed to something.
Committed to it.
There's an uncertainty that's created within the dynamic, and that uncertainty
Yeah.
just starts to crack the foundation, and the crack becomes bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden you're no longer in a relationship anymore. It just goes in different directions.
So true.
So, and that goes with commitment to anything. If you don't fully commit to your career, it will fall apart eventually. If you don't commit to your health, if you don't commit to anything, like commitment is so important. Your commitment to your self-love practice is really, really important to you connecting to your divinity and your highest self. And believe me, alignment, us beings, our natural state, where when we're vibrating at our highest frequency, we're highly sexual beings, but we're also highly connected. We're drawn to connection, romance, and these things happen naturally when we're connected.
Wow.
So again, your disalignment is stress, your alignment is romance, love, passion, connection, and it will build deeper and deeper and deeper, but it comes from your personal alignment to your higher self.
Wow, excellent. I really admire this specific answer. You said the commitment, commitment towards the relationship will bring more romantic and creative relationship. Yeah, it will become more creative. Great. So let's do this second round we call Make the World Happy round. So yeah, short and sweet answers are highly appreciated on that. Okay. First, you have to choose only one. What will you choose from? Time, money, love, or sex?
Love.
All right, great. Okay. I like that. High five for that.
Because everything else comes with the love.
In my show, since I started, I have never seen a special guest. I've been like, I interviewed most biggest millionaires and philanthropists and author and teacher and PhD holder and all. Everybody would came up with the same answer, love. So I'm just waiting. Somebody will give a different answer. Anyways, love is the best thing. I love that. I agree with it. Okay, next. Who and what and who inspired you with esteem?
Sorry, with esteem?
Yeah, with esteem. Yeah, with self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Yes.
Honestly, this is going to sound really funny to you guys, but my bullies, the people that bullied me when I was younger, allowed me to have this opportunity to have this trauma and believe that I wasn't good enough, lovable, worthy. And with that trauma, I've been able to turn it around and focus on my healing and how amazing I really, truly am. And I just believed the noise before. So I disconnected from my alignment in my childhood. That's sort of developmentally where I was. That's what children do. And now I'm
here where you are, the most successful love coach of the world.
Gratitude.
Yeah. Same with me. Okay, next. How do you know if someone needs a love coach?
They're not feeling happy in their life.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. What and whom do you love best?
What or whom? Right now, I would say it's my dog. She teaches me unconditional love, just compassion, forgiveness, just pure bliss all the time.
Excellent. When are you most fully yourself?
I love myself. This is so weird, but I love myself when I just first get out of the shower. I feel like the most revived, fresh, raw, authentic. So yes.
Organic. Wow, excellent. Okay, now you're being a wonderful international love coach, and you meet so many folks and couples and rich and poor and all class of people now. What is in trend now? Being caring and romantic, or rich and famous, or something else? What is in trend?
Caring and romantic. Caring
Okay.
and romantic has deep roots, I find. Rich and famous. Hey, listen, there's no right or wrong answer because that can come with deep roots as well. But a lot of the time, it's superficial.
Okay.
Not
So
100% of the time, but a lot
great.
of the time.
So we'll stick to the caring and romantic. People
Yes.
out there, that's a new trend from the love coach has seen a lot. Good. Okay. How do you compromise in a relationship without losing yourself?
Always check in. How does this feel? This like from your heart, not from your head. The head will say, is this the right thing to do? Is this going to make the other person happy? Remember, you're not responsible for anybody else's happiness. How does this make me feel? Does this make me feel good to compromise this for this person?
Excellent.
And if it does, there's got to be no attachment. When I'm giving, there's no attachment on how it's received.
Wow.
When
Wonderful.
It's coming from love.
Excellent. Next, what are the side effects of the happiest people?
The side effects, man,
of the happiest people.
It spreads like wildfire. And it's so powerful. It spreads exponentially.
And this is what we are doing here right now on the live show, spreading love and happiness and blissness on the wall. Okay, you being a woman now, that's something related to you. Never say that specific word or a sentence when a woman is angry.
Oh my gosh. For me personally, because I can only
good.
is when someone says I'm out of here. Like if someone leaves, I like to have like support when I'm kind of going through something, or to at least know that they're sharing space. They don't have to be right in my face, but if they leave, that's
the most thing.
You
cannot stand that.
That's not.
Okay, so that, Nadika, imagine if God makes you a man for a day, what will you do more of and less of?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Okay, this is what came to me. I would go out and actually just like be the most gentleman. Like I love old traditional things like opening doors for women, offering them flowers, complimenting them, like just classic gentlemanly things. I absolutely love and honor divine masculines that have that honor themselves by doing that for women. So I would do that.
Lovely.
Spreading
more
joy and happiness. Yeah.
That's good. So this is more of, what will you do less of?
Okay, less of is the egotistical things like pumping iron to be like, oh, I'm so like, it's usually to fill a void. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but most of the time it's to fill a void. So the pumping iron and just like the big like egomaniac talking dirt, like, just not being in your divinity. So,
fair enough.
Making sexual.
Well, this is imagination things.
Yeah, exactly.
So no one get offended on that. This is our show is just solely for just viewing and entertaining. Okay, next. What is the best love advice you have ever received?
I don't know that I received. Well, I did receive it from divine source energy, but that I am the love of my life, that I am the center of my universe, and that I am whole, perfect, and complete, like pure perfection, as Lovely. Are you and everyone else. But everyone,
great. Next, what is the worst love advice you have ever received?
The worst love advice. Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot.
Well, that's why you are here on the Happy Conversation Idea Show, to make the world happy.
That love is hard.
Okay.
I don't believe that to be true.
Okay. All right, I like that. I love that. That's so powerful. Either the love it, so never give up. The love is never hard. Great. Okay, So name 2 top relationship goal which makes a couple more happier and romantic.
To me, it would be creating the feeling of freedom.
Okay,
So
one.
people are so afraid of being in a committed relationship because they're afraid of losing their freedom. I want to create freedom within a union, a monogamous union.
So that's one. Second.
Yeah, that's one. And 2 is play. Like it's so
Woo!
important to play together and have fun and like in all the different areas. Yeah,
play
like
is
just
so important.
have fun.
Being playful is wonderful always. I don't know. It's always like,
amazing.
It creates so dynamic energy inside you. Being playful.
Exactly.
Lovely. Good.
Exactly.
Okay. Next. When you are angry, what you like to hear from your partner?
I'm here for you.
All right.
I'm here for you. How can I serve you?
I love it. That's so powerful. That's so caring. Like, okay, next, what is your love language?
Oh, physical touch. That one's easy.
Physical touch. Oh, don't touch, don't touch. Great. We will move forward now, quick. With whom you would love to go out for a dinner date on a private island?
Oh, like a single person on a date, like a romantic date.
Oh, you can go with your current partner or whoever it is. It's your choice to answer.
You got me again. I'm not really sure. Okay. This is kind of a weird thing, but I do. I've always had this childhood crush.
Yeah, you can say the crush. Yeah.
Yeah, on Antonio Sabato Jr. I don't know if you know who that is.
That's good. Okay. All right.
That would be kind of cool.
Good. Next. What superpower do you wish you could have always?
Unconditional love. Pure unconditional love, because that's not something that I have fully mastered 100% of the time yet.
Okay. Next. Do you consider yourself good with money or love?
Love.
All right. Excellent. Now, you being a love coach, this is something very powerful. Benefit of healthy sexual life.
Oh, it's so important. We have a chakra, like an energy center that lies. There's several energy centers, but one of them lies in our sexual area on both men and women.
Yeah,
and it's really important. It's called the sacral chakra, and it's really important that we release energy. Pent up emotions from our sacral chakra. It's actually emotionally healthy as well as physically healthy.
That's good. That's very important. That's so spiritual.
Yeah,
that's
very,
good.
very important.
Next, what is the secret of your healthy self-image?
It's a part of my self-love practice, to be honest with you. I actually feel more connected to my divine feminine essence when I spend a little bit of time and like do my hair or do my makeup. And that doesn't mean I do my makeup every day and I still feel sexy when I'm not, but when it does, I enjoy personally. I like dressing up. I love high heels.
Nice.
And so those kinds of things, I like painted nails. I like jewelry. So those kinds of things help me connect to my divinity. So
excellent. What harmless mistake you must do to make a happier relationship? Or someone, doesn't matter, it's you. What harmless mistake one should do to make a relationship happier?
A harmless mistake?
Yeah, people say, oh, don't do mistakes in life, this and all. No, I said, what harmless mistake you should do to make the relationship happier?
Oh gosh, like I like pamper
pampering
your partner.
Okay, all right. Next,
pampering, like if you're cooking for them.
That's very creative.
Slippers, like
that's very good. That's why you're a love coach. Good. Next, what are the signs? Okay, what are the signs when a partner is in a romantic mood?
Oh. I think you can feel it. You can feel it in the air.
Okay.
There's
All right. Feel it in the air. I like that one. Feel it in the air.
in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
there's just like a different way that they touch you or the different way that they look at you. Like I could feel it usually. Yeah.
Nice. What are the 2 challenges to take every year to make a healthy relationship?
So 2 of them, I would say. One is like start a gratitude practice every night before you go to bed. Like you could turn to your partner. Yeah. And then 2 is there's an exercise that I absolutely love, which is what I love about you most is.
Yeah.
So you don't have to know the person really, really well, but this is also another gratitude exercise, but it's focused purely on a person. So if you don't know the person well, you can, I just want to give you a small example. If you don't know the person well, you can just say, like, let's say Mr. Happy, what I love about you most is how much you smile and how expressive you are with your face. And that is something that is authentic, because I'm not lying. It's even if I don't know anything about you personally, I can observe that and say that from a genuine place. So those kinds of things are really nice, because it's really nice to give. And it's also really nice to receive by seeing your smile, your face light up. And those kinds of exercises, you don't know that how much someone may need to hear that thing that day.
Lovely. Couple out there. These are the 2 challenges. Do it with your spouse or friends who come down. Okay, next. Being a love coach. Now, here's the question. What to do when a client falls in love with a love coach?
Oh, I have like super strong boundaries with that. You can't be the coach and the lover at the same time.
Okay, good. So there's a wall.
Yeah.
There's a wall. Okay.
A strong wall.
Next. Okay, this is true and false one. Okay. More happy years of life and more happy life in your ears.
True.
Oh, true. Hey, high five. Of course. Okay. You have to choose one. Lose the world or find yourself.
Well, you lose the world when you find yourself.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next. What is the contagious habit of loving each other?
I think I would want to say service. Like I feel like when I really love someone, I just want to do everything I can to make their life better.
Okay, perfect. That's a good answer. I love that. Now, imagine if you would be the host of this show and I would be the guest, what question would you ask me?
What elevates your joy?
Okay. Well, I think it's something related to your answer. What elevates my joy is serving others unconditionally, conditionally, throughout the time, whenever possible, with dignity, respect, and love, in a creative way. I like to serve my clients, my beloved ones, my friend. Since childhood, serving and gifting is one of my eternal joy. That's what I love to do.
Okay, I have a bonus question.
Go ahead.
What's the most romantic thing or gesture you've ever done for a partner?
Oh, I've been called Mr. Beans. You know, there are so many incidents happen which I never planned, and it was memorable incident that I've been get so many compliments, and it was rewarded for that. Once there was an incident, we were cutting a lime inside the kitchen, and the lime dropped down, and it trembled around the floor, and it went to the window. The window was open, and you was only this much of gap, only the lime can go, and that lime went through that and fall out of the building. And she was saying, like, unbelievable that this lime can go from the kitchen to the floor and just jumping and bouncing and go right into the window with that small size and goes down. So I never planned, but it's all goes like unplanned thing is one of my thing. I would say that. Okay.
Nice.
Next, we are getting closer to that. What is your favorite word or a quote?
Be the light that you are.
I love it. Be the light you are. Excellent. Okay, this is the last question for our show now. What is your message to the beautiful people of the world?
That you are pure love, pure light. You are so divine and whole, perfect, and complete. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. There never was. There never will be. Everything that has happened up until now is a part of your journey.
Wow.
And
what a great
you deserve every beautiful thing and abundance to come to you. It is your birthright. So let it in.
Let it in. Thank you so much, Nadika, for your wise wisdom,
Thank you.
your stories, your thoughts, your ideas towards making the world a very beautiful and happy and healthy and romantic world. I hope all the audience has got some golden nuggets to how to connect and communicate and heal herself and himself, and to be the best family and the best romantic people on planet Earth, to make everyone happy today and tomorrow and forever. Thanks so much to the audience that who've been supporting and guiding us to do the best thing what we can do. And thanks. This is Happy Bains, your host, your noble servant, the Happy Conversation Idea Show, where you can witness thoughts, ideas, and stories of happiest people. And thanks, Nadika, once again. Until next, we will wait for next Sunday to see our special guest. Take care wherever you are. You have greatness in you. Love yourself and love others. Thank you.
Thank you.